Hi everyone, my name is Rufaro.
And I'm TK.
And we're the
Cause.
Okay, that's cheesy, but we just had to do it like that. Okay, yes, it was my idea. I'm the brains behind this show. Okay, so TK,
Yeah.
how long have you been married, babe?
6 years.
7 years. Okay, it's 6 years going 7. I like to stick to 7 years. And how did we meet?
At work?
Yes, we're working for the same organization, and he took advantage of me.
Well, in today's language, yes, I would have.
Yeah, he would have a Me Too lawsuit on in case. That is not a joke. That is like serious issues. Yeah. So we've been married for almost 7 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay. Ooh, where are we right now?
Well, we're married.
No, okay, we're married. I'm currently.
We got 2 kids.
Yeah, okay, we got 2 kids. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm a customer experience professional, and I've got an online business on soccer.com. What do you do, baby?
I've got a software business.
Mr. Fancy Pants, I've got a software business. Okay, so that's what we do. Oh, how do you support me in my career, babe?
In the career?
Yeah, how do
I
you
wake up and say, go, baby.
He actually does do that. That's a good one. He actually does do that. And I support him by looking after his kids, by looking after his family. So that he doesn't have to worry about all the other stuff.
Yeah, that is
You
very
know,
true.
and that's how we sort of support each other. And we pay attention to each other's goals. We've got a vision board, or he's got a vision board, and I've got my own vision board. So we're very clear about the things that we want to achieve and what we both need to do in order to make each other succeed. Okay. So how do we work together with the kids, and how do you help me out with the kids?
Yeah. Well, I put them to bed.
Yeah, we actually do have a routine that works. He does the nighttime routine like to the T. He's so good at that. I'll be beat by the end of the day, and he sort of like does well with that. He takes the kids to bed. He sings for them. I've heard lullabies in there.
I read stories.
Yeah, he reads stories. He helps them to brush their teeth before they get into the blankets. And yeah, and they do this whole thing. What do you do? Like it's a, like I don't know what that is for, but I just know it makes the kids feel good, and they're like, okay, we're up to bed, and then they get their kisses.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. So we sort of like, we don't necessarily have like a laid down plan or rules about how things are done. We're just sort of like helping each other out right now. And I guess because, you know, we don't have help, we definitely do take time to make sure that we are there for each other and making sure we help out each other with the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. How do we strike a balance with our different roles?
But I think, I
That's
don't
a
know.
hard one. I don't even know how to answer that one.
Yeah, but I'd strike a balance.
Yeah.
I think you don't necessarily, we can necessarily strike a balance. I think it just depends on what is going on in that moment and what takes priority, and then we adjust as we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or unless they mean like, unless the question means like, how do we, like, yeah, it's still the same thing. I'm still going to repeat myself. Like, how do I strike a balance between being a mom, wife, and having a job? That sort of thing. Then you still stick to your answer?
Yeah. It depends on what's taking priority at that time.
Okay, so it depends on. I'm going to stick to his, to his response. It sounds like it makes more sense. We're definitely going to like prioritize things. Yeah, but you're right. It does go with the prioritization list with what's important and what's happening at that point in time. And I guess because we've got different responsibilities and different pressures based on the day-to-day stuff that we do each and every day, we sort of learned how to bounce off the pressure of each other more onto me than onto him. But yeah, I don't know if we answered that one right. I hope we did. Okay. um, you being a working mom and still coming home to the kids. Okay. So I work from home and I don't necessarily leave this place so that I can do what I do. I YouTube and I run my online business and I do what needs to be done at home. And him, on the other hand, he leaves every morning, but of late he hasn't gone anywhere in months.
Actually, ever since we came here, I have only been leaving every morning for 2 months. Yeah, because I've been working from home for most of.
Yeah, so it actually is very difficult to work from home and look after the kids at the same time. But because his work demands a lot of interacting with important clients, so he's always on the phone, so he can't exactly help out with the kids during the day. And for me, I can actually sort of do what I'm doing on my laptop or my computer, and the kids are there. It's very difficult now trying to zone out with them, but it's something that you like, they sort of understand. Like when daddy says he's working, they don't go and interrupt. But when mommy says she's working, mommy, we are hungry. Mommy, we want this and that. And that's just how sort of things work. So we both actually do work from home now.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just sort of how it works. We don't leave to go anywhere. And the kids go to school, or one of them goes to school.
But in normal times.
In normal times. Very difficult to answer this question right now because things are not really the normal way because everyone is at home and you're sort of figuring out as we go. How do you balance being a husband and being a working father at the same time? How do you balance being a working father and a husband?
Okay, so depends on how you look at it, I guess. But as a guy, I guess, my main concern is, are we financially stable? So, do we have a roof on our head? Do we have food?
Does my wife have lashes for her next YouTube video?
Yeah. So I think that's the crux of it. So again, it's also a juggling act where it depends on what needs to be prioritized at that time. So sometimes I might work 18 hours in a single day, but that's because I'm trying to get us to maintain stability or go further than where we are at that moment. And then we sometimes forget, but we're trying to constitute date night so that we can have our time.
The last date night we just fell asleep. What we do?
Yeah, we're dead tired from work.
We're dead tired because when you work from home and you're looking after the kids at the same time, it's very difficult because sometimes I have to wake up earlier than everyone else to make sure that I get as much done before the kids wake up. And sometimes, like most of the time, I may sleep late, but he sleeps later than me. He can sleep around 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, and he's grinding hard. But so trying to, I guess for you, having to strike that balance is then having to make time. Yeah. And date night for us hasn't really kicked off since lockdown started because, like what he said.
Yeah.
Date night is sleeping. Like, can we sleep? Can we get some peace in this house? Yeah. Okay. So how do we spend time together as a family, and what activities do we do as a family?
Well, at the moment we spend the entire day together.
Ain't that the truth? Oh gosh, ain't that the truth?
Our activities, I think, are mainly centered around meal times. Yeah. I think it's meal times.
It's mainly around meal times.
And also, we take breaks at different times. So when I take a break, I play with the kids a little bit.
And we actually used to take a lot of walks. And now we even started doing like workout routines, all four of us. It never lasted. I think we did like a week or so of workout routines as a family.
And then we
just sort of fell off.
I think, but maybe my fault. I'm way out of shape, right?
Yeah, I'm the one who's trying hard here, and he's like, okay, I look good the way that I am. Well, I guess because he got a lot of pressure. Yes, babe, you always look good. Maybe
Thank
it's a
you.
lot of pressure. Yeah,
Okay.
so in terms of the activities that we do together, we definitely most centered around meal times. And as you can hear, someone is knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want our attention. They
Yeah.
want daddy. You see, stay my mama. It's always daddy. What expectations did you have of each other that have changed over time? This is with regards to marriage. Okay. For me, the expectation that I had of my husband was he's just supposed to be the person that sort of, I won't say fixes all my problems all the time, but yeah, having you sort of like be the person that fixes all the stuff for me. But I realized that no, he's not the fixer. He's like my support system. So that just sort of like changed over time.
When I try to fix things, you don't want me to.
No, I don't want people to fix my problem. I want to learn how to fix them myself. But yeah, that has sort of like changed, and the expectation that I've also had, I guess, was, thinking that your husband needs to understands every emotion that you're feeling, like he can read minds and stuff like that. That has definitely changed over time, and I've learned. Well, he's taught me how to communicate better, and yeah, speak your mind, say your piece.
Yeah.
You don't say anything.
I don't know what to say. Because I don't think I had any.
Expectations, really. She must cook for me. She must iron my clothes. She must cook salsa for me 24/7. You know those vibes that people get with.
You had those expectations that you wanted to cook all the time. I'm the one who got as a maid. So
Oh yeah, right about
because you
that.
wanted to.
I wanted to cook. I wanted to cook all the time. I thought that being a perfect wife or being a perfect mother, I need to make sure that I've got my house in order. I'm supposed to be able to cook, clean, do everything else, like be superwoman.
On top of going to work every day.
Yeah, on top of going to work every day. And he was like, no, I'm not having any of that. He actually got as help behind my back. Imagine coming from work, you're dead tired and you're exhausted. You're thinking, so now I have to go make a meal. And I got home, the house was spotless. It was clean. This was before we even had our baby. Yeah, this was the first time before we even had our first child. The house was spotless, and she had prepared them. She had prepared like meals that I could even freeze and we could eat for like days. And I actually remember I wanted to cry. I was a bit angry. I was like, how could you do that? How can you go and you get someone to, like, are you saying I'm not capable, I'm failing? But the truth was I was actually struggling because we were also expecting at that time. Okay, you want to say I was expecting because I was the one who was pregnant.
Yeah.
We were expecting.
Well, we were expecting is correct, but we were pregnant.
Okay. So he actually got someone, and that expectation is sort of, has it improved over time? But I still feel like I need to be able to do everything.
You still try to, but well, we're in a different situation at the moment because we don't have help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's a different
vibe.
Yeah, it's a different country altogether. So.
Different country, different rules, different vibes. But yeah, those expectations have sort of changed for us.
Okay.
What was some things that you had to unlearn to make marriage work?
Well, there is one particular thing that I've not unlearned per se, but adjust in different scenarios. I'm very direct, so.
He makes me cry, guys. He says mean things to me.
I'm very direct, so now I think for a long, I think more about what I want to say and how I say it.
You're more sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. He's doing good. He's more sensitive. The first few months. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess for you that would be it.
Yeah.
For me, what I had to unlearn were two things. I think that I can actually just remember off the top of my head. The first thing was that it is not okay for me. It was okay. It is not okay for your spouse to snoop through your phone. I used to do that, and I thought that was the standard. Like, always do it. Like, you go through their phone, you go on their Facebook, you check their WhatsApp, you check their call records, you check their SMSs, you check if they've downloaded an app that hides WhatsApp, that hides Facebook messages. You know, the whole 9 yards. And I haven't done that in years. It's something that I didn't know that. I thought I was still doing it.
You do it all the time. So.
No, don't do it. You're wasting your time. I don't do it anymore. And the reason why I stopped doing it was because, I was like, trust is earned. And how would I feel if he was going through my phone and making me feel like, I'm doing something shady and stuff like that. And I believe God is on my back. If someone is doing something, I will figure it out. I will just find out on my own. But it's just something
Sounds
that
like a threat.
It's not a threat, babe. I'm just saying that God is on my case. He's
Okay.
all over me. He's got me covered.
God is watching you. God is watching you.
I'm not trying to guilt you. I'm just letting you know. I'm not trying to scare. I'm just letting you know. Okay. So yeah, I had to unlearn that vibe to say no. It's not all men who lie. It's not all men who cheat, and it's not okay for me to openly say, I don't trust you, so I'm going to go through your phone and stuff like that. And it has actually helped us to have a healthier marriage. I don't like to think, but since you didn't know I wasn't doing it, I don't know. But for me, I'm happier. I sleep better at night. What are some of the changes that you've experienced that came as a result of relocating from Zimbabwe?
What are some of the changes that you've experienced?
Me? I don't have a maid.
Okay, yeah, that's that.
I'm realizing more and more how important it is to connect with my child. I think when we were growing up, we our parents never really had that vibe where they used to communicate feelings with our kids, with us and stuff like that. But I've learned that, and some of the things some of the changes that I've experienced, having a new routine and knowing that my support system is he's my only support system here. As much as we've got friends and family here, it's not the same as being back home.
So culturally, right, in terms of the way business works and people interact, it's not very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only thing is that things work better, but it's not that different. So I haven't experienced, but the other thing is I don't interact with a lot of people. I only interact with my customers mostly. So I might be wrong about that. In a smaller home could be different.
Yes, living in an apartment that is as big as a matchbox.
It's not that small.
Okay, fine.
But
yeah.
compared to we're living on 2,000 square meters.
Yeah, we're living in a sort of 4-bedroom to 5-bedroom house, and we had and we had a yard, and we had a garden, and the kids could go out and play and all of that, and we don't have that right now.
Yeah, and I like space, so.
Yeah, and I like my freedom, and I like the sun, guys. I like to go out. I'm like an African lizard. I don't know what they're called.
African lizard.
No, I don't know. But I enjoy my sun, guys. I enjoy basking in the sun, and it's very difficult to experience that when you're living in an apartment. So definitely with regards to space. Yeah. Okay.
And also, now I'm thinking numbers, but space is more expensive here.
Oh yeah.
Than back home, yeah. So.
Definitely.
Okay.
How do we try to teach our kids about God as well as their African culture?
Well, I'm not very good at those things, so either of them.
Which one's about God or African culture?
Both.
Unless we're keeping it real, we're being honest, yeah. For me, one thing that I do try and make sure is that because right now we're doing, we're not going to church physically, so there's no Sunday school, But we do have Sunday school online because we attend Hillsong United. They've got Sunday school online, and I sometimes play some of the Sunday school videos for my kids. And I try to make sure that no matter what, they pray at the end of each day. So before bedtime, my kids know that we need to pray, we need to talk to God, and we need to say thank you. It's usually the Lord's Prayer.
No, I do that. I do the Lord's Prayer with them, but you taught them.
Yeah, I taught one of them. The other one doesn't know
No,
anything
yet.
yet.
Yeah.
Definitely something that I've worked towards, and we've also worked towards making sure they learn how to pray before they eat. That's important. As far as the African culture is concerned, he does more. I don't know why you think you don't do more of that, but you actually do more of that than I do. You're the one who teaches her how to, like, she now knows where, like, the African map, and to know where which country are you staying in and stuff like that. Because our kids are young, eh? The other one is turning 6, and the youngest is turning 2.
But that's not culture.
But it's the beginning, because we're not exactly African, but you actually teach her Shona. That's African.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're the one who speaks to her in Shona more than I do. I just speak to her in the language that makes sure she listens to what I'm saying, and she stops all the nonsense. But yeah, that's basically it. What are some of the things that you continuously have, or you've continuously had to learn about marriage over the years? Like, I guess the new lessons. I think this question is talking about the new lessons that we've learned about marriage or continue to learn. Like communication, you can never get over that. You still need to communicate, you need to bond, and
there's something that I've just realized that I do. I never think about marriage per se.
You're so right.
What I think about is my partner. So the one thing that I can say that I've learned is that we're evolving human beings, and we're not the same all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very different from when we are both very different people from when we met till now. So we're evolving. So we will keep relearning about each other, because the change doesn't happen. The change is gradual. So that means the learning is also gradual, I think.
Okay. In terms of the things that we continuously have to learn, I guess the things that won't change, other than making sure that we communicate, is the fact that he mentioned that we evolve. Like, the things that we used to value 5 years ago are not the things that we value now, and the things that we prioritize now are much different. For one, he didn't want to relocate when we first got married.
Yeah.
I was the one that said, can we relocate? I want to travel the world. I want to see what else is out there. Like, no, he had no passport. He had none of that paperwork in place. He was good. He was happy. He was satisfied. Then he just woke up one morning and he was like, no, he actually traveled to a few different countries for work. And then he came back and was like, I want to relocate. I think this is the right thing for us to do. Let's do it. And
it's very different watching other countries from the television and then getting
visiting
there
them.
and then seeing how far ahead
They are.
Yeah. So.
And I think there's this misconception back home that people think that, oh, this country is the same as us. People look at Zambia, they're like, Zambia, but like, we're the same. Or they're like, oh, okay, UK, you can't tell me anything about the UK, whatever it is. People don't realize that the lifestyles, the opportunities, everything is completely different, and it's, I guess that for me, I always felt like I was missing out on something, and I really wanted to see what else was out there. But as far as marriage goes, like what you were saying, people change. You just woke up and you decided, So the things that I had sort of gotten used to saying, okay, fine, we're not going anywhere, that changed, and I was like, this man just changes on me and stuff like that. But yeah, you have to accept that as who you are, and evolve together. Don't leave anyone behind.
Yeah.
We work together financially.
Well, we budget every month
to achieve our goals. Yeah, we sit down and we do the budget every month. He enjoys the budget more than I do. And yeah, we sit down, we do the numbers,
and then we also set targets for yearly income.
I think the thing that sort of guides us is the fact that we've got a vision board. Like we've got our own individual vision boards. And the vision boards are what guide us. Like to say, so okay, we now have a combined goal. What are we going to do together as a team for us to be able to make sure that he achieves his goals, I achieve my goals, and we achieve and we achieve all our goals as a family. Yeah, so we chip in and we make sure that we sort of help each other with that.
Although the current environment has set us back a little bit this year. So
Yeah, the current situation, we all know what the current situation is. It has definitely, we've missed out on a lot of opportunities or things that we've sort of set out for
and
ourselves.
they need you to go into an institution and get something done.
Yeah, you need to leave your house for you to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve, or the things that we wanted to achieve. How do you deal with issues to do with extended family when they have different views that clash with your family decisions? We don't have that kind of drama, do we? Oh yeah, but we've had.
We do what we decided to do. That's just it.
Yeah, we just do what we want to do. You don't have time to listen to nobody. I'm just playing.
If we're in agreement, we're in agreement. It shouldn't matter what. But in general, you can talk about yourself, but I'll talk about me. When I've come to a decision, right, and we've talked about it and we've agreed that this is the direction we're going, it's very difficult for me to go any other way after that.
You're stubborn like that. God created you like that. For us, really, it's also an issue to do with the fact that we actually don't involve people in our business.
Decisions, yeah, we don't.
People don't know what we are doing or what we are up to. They just see things happening. And I remember the only time that we had a very difficult time was when you decided to quit your job.
Yeah.
I went through hell, guys. You have no idea. I'm just playing. But yeah, it was very hard because it's something that we sat down and we decided, okay, this is what we are going to do, and we agreed, and we are a united force, and we're going into the world. We're going to have a one income coming in for we don't know how long, up until your business sort of like takes off. Yeah, up until the business sort of like took off and whatever it is. And I remember when he then told my mom in love, oh goodness.
She was scared to death.
She was petrified, and she called me, Rufaro, how can you be doing this? Some of these things, when you're planning in your household, you must learn to consult. We have experience with these things. This is how she spoke. And her fear and her panic came from a place of love, nothing else but a place of love. And it was very difficult for me. I actually remember I actually had to tell him, like, okay, I don't think I can handle, trying to be able to convince her that, you know what, we're doing this and we don't know if it's going to work out or not, but this is what we're doing. So it with regards to that, I guess
it worked out.
Yes, it worked out. It worked out. Thank God it worked out. Otherwise would never heard the end of it. So yeah, in terms of that, we make sure that our business is our own, and if we do face sort of resistance, we maintain a united front. And we do our best to make sure that we protect each other. And by protecting each other, we don't mean like you don't leave the other person exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is what he is saying. What he is saying is what I'm saying. We're singing the same tune, and nobody can sort of like interfere with that.
We started it when we were planning the wedding, actually.
Yeah, I started when we were planning the wedding. Because when we were planning our wedding, people had ideas. People had dreams that they wanted to impose on us. I remember my mother had stuff that she had planned. She had like a guest list of an extra 50 people from her entire workplace that she wanted to bring. And it was almost the same for you guys. Yeah, so we sort of have been like that from the beginning. Guys, this is us. Alright, next advice would you give those who are dating or who are married? I don't even...
If history has taught me anything, or maybe, history has taught me anything, is that your relationship is your own. So you do what works with you and your partner. I guess that's the advice that I would give. and stop listening to all this rubbish that people are saying on the internet. Like right now.
What's on the internet? Well, like what we are saying, as what we are saying, rubbish. Are we the internet? What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, we are the internet
We are
at
the
the moment.
Oh my god, okay. So yeah.
So I have the advantage of staying in multiple homes and learning a few things about different couples, and every couple I've encountered is very different. So because of that, I think people just should do what works for them. Yeah. So sometimes you might hear. So context is very important. So I might give you advice, but the advice that I'm giving you has worked for us in our own context, right? Because we have very different backgrounds. So because of that background, it becomes our context. What I've gone through, what she's gone through, becomes our context. So when we're deciding on things, and it's different from the context that you and your partner have, I think, right? So always use your context to make decisions.
Okay, and he's very right about that. I've got lots of advice. I like to talk and I've got lots of advice. I don't know if there is rubbish like what he's saying. They're saying it's on the internet, don't just listen to people. But for me, I've realized the thing that I can also give people that are dating, make sure that before you get married, you have those counseling sessions.
Counseling is helpful.
We went to see a pastor before we got married, and we went to a few sessions. I don't know how many, but we went to a couple of sessions.
3 or 4, yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 sessions, but they were kind of long, maybe 1 hour sessions.
Yeah, maybe more than 1 hour.
To talk. Yeah, you would go on and on. But the things that we learned within those marriage counseling sessions were very important, and even up to now we still use those things, particularly to do with managing finances, managing extended family, and paying attention to each other's needs and listening to each other more. He really emphasized on those points, and I think it's something that is very important if you're deciding that you want to get married, you want to settle down with someone, to have those discussions, whether it's about faith, whether it's about money. You know how people value money is very different, and things to do with finances are very, very difficult to manage when you're now married. It's important to make sure that you have that covered. And then when you're then married, I guess the only advice that I can give you is to make sure, is just to say like what he said, like, do you guys, it's in the end, it's between you and you and your partner, and don't involve people in your business. That should be something that's just very straightforward from the get-go. Don't involve people in your business.
In addition to, you talked about counseling, right? So the one thing that I think that really helped us the most was another thing that was in context.
What was that?
The fact that we were firstborns, right?
Oh yeah.
And we were both firstborns, and I was coming from my background. My parents were gone, and you had one parent that wasn't there. And then he identified that, and then he spoke about where one, because we're firstborns, and we're coming from that situation where people will take charge in general, right? So we are both people who take charge, and then that means when we get married, we're going to want to continue doing what we used to do before we were married. And then we fought a lot. I think for the first entire 6 months, we were fighting every day. We were fighting as we were driving to work. We were fighting as we were coming back to work.
We were fighting during supper.
We were fighting all the time. And then it clicked one day that this was the issue was we were going in different directions every single day. So our movements were not synchronized because we'd been used to taking charge.
We're using the firstborn mentality.
Yeah.
I make a decision, I stick to it, and I do what I want. Why are you questioning my decision? Because I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a long time. It works. So why are you asking me whether this decision makes sense or not? Why are you doubting my capability to be able to handle a certain situation? And that's a good point, babe. I've forgotten about
context. So as soon as we realized that's what he had been talking about, we then adjusted.
But I think it's something that we're still learning to do. Because even up to now, babe, like when I still have the stubbornness around me, where I don't want to be told what to do. I don't want to be questioned. When I've made a decision, that is it. I am sticking to it, and when I give instructions, I want them followed. But it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, because there's no second born in this house. Everyone is like, yeah.